Don't insult his intelligence, and he'll do the rest. But like we make the simple complex. Right. This dude needs information. Dude needs information. Dude needs information. Let's go!
Classy. Good morning, everyone. You're listening to the Uncommon Connector Career Awareness Podcast. I am your host, Kia B, on She's the Boss Radio Network, making uncommon career connections more practical to you. Thank you for tuning into today's show. We have a special guest, Mr. Ron Nicholson, who will be talking with our listeners about his professional career background. We want to thank you for joining us on Uncommon Connector. First, I want to start off with, how are you doing today?
I am doing fantastic. How about yourself?
I am doing well. It's a pleasure to have you on the show. And I am looking forward to this interview because we always use this platform to educate youth and young adults about the career opportunities that are available to them, whether they know about it or not. Because typically in this industry, a lot of times we hear about the most common professions and, we don't really hear too much about other career opportunities out here besides the medical fields and, law enforcement. So we basically want to spread the awareness to our listeners and to the youth about the opportunities and to also give them a chance to make an informed decision prior to even considering college. What are the steps you need to do to get into school or just to get into a specific profession. We just trying to drop some jewels and give them a little bit of information about these professions before going to college or just becoming an entrepreneur. Whatever our listeners choose to do, we just want to help you out through the process. So first, I want to start off our interview just asking you to tell us a little bit about what it is that you do.
Sure. My name is Ron Nicholson. I am one of the co-founders, and currently serve as executive director for Bcauseican. We are a 501c3 nonprofit, and we provide STEM training, specifically computer coding. We like to say we're the T in STEM, to youth and young adults. Our classes start as young as kindergartners, 5-year-olds, all the way through high school. Most of our classes are conducted as part of after-school enrichment programming. Our organization and myself, we're big advocates for STEM education and STEM careers, and really working to reduce the disparities and inequities between demographics and who actually have STEM jobs and are in the STEM career. So we're out there advocating, cultivating, motivating students, youth and young adults to figure out how to get into a career in STEM, and we give them the training and tools to do that.
Perfect. That's good to hear. This seems like a very important organization for our youth because you're allowing them to get the experience and the necessary skills and things that they need to be successful. I'm glad to hear that. How long have you worked for the organization?
Our organization is, we're 7.5 years old. founded by some college roommates, mostly were electrical engineers and computer science 7.5 years ago, located here in Prince George's County, Maryland. Um, but I've been in an industry over 30 years, so I'm a long time technologist. And I've done soup to nuts. So I've got a lot of experience and a lot of background in information technology.
Oh, right. So, in your background, what would you consider to be the most valuable, or what has been the most valuable thing throughout your career that you've used over the lifespan of your career? Is it what's been most important, like your education or your like on a job experience?
That's a good question. I think it's a little bit of combination of both, having
Mhm.
some theoretical through the education, been educated in computer science, having that background, so having the theory and but then putting it to and applying is important as well. So the combination of both the education and having the opportunity to use those skills through job experience is important. So I would say they're 50-50. But the thing about on the job, when you have these situations when you run into those challenges, things don't actually go by the book. So you have to, so the on the job experience is important, but having that background from an educational perspective is also valuable.
Okay. So I want to ask you, like, who was your biggest influence, or did you have like a mentor or someone that you met in your life that you was like, well, I'm not sure what I want to do, but this person definitely influenced your decision on uh, joining your career industry?
Good question. I really didn't have an influencer. I
Mhm.
had planned to. I was doing pretty good in high school. I went to high school in D.C. in
Mhm.
Ballou High School over in Southeast Washington, Ward 8.
Okay.
And as a junior, I was going between my junior and senior year. I applied for electrical engineering program out of MIT, and I just knew I was going to be accepted, and I was rejected. And so, out of spite, I said, "Well, I'm not going to go in electrical engineering. I'm going in computers." So I started studying computers my senior year. Actually, went to college at North Carolina State University, studying computer science. And so, I really didn't have anyone to kind of mentor or coach me. I just knew I was good, always good at math. So and take I was good at problem solving and logic and those kind of things. So and I like to tinker. So computer science just kind of I jumped in and I never looked back.
That's good. That's good. Computer science is a popular industry. So I know you said you've been in the career industry for over 20 years, but I would say, has it changed any since you joined computer science industry? What's new?
The IT profession has changed dramatically, and
Yeah.
one of the important tools you need to have to be successful is the ability to adapt, the ability to be open-minded to the changes and to accept them and apply yourself. So, you know, uh, we didn't have all the platforms that we have today
Mhm.
to support. We didn't have all the environments that are there, whether local, remote, in the cloud, whatever. Um, when I first started this journey, different programming coding languages are available now. So a lot has changed and will continue to change. And I will always, when I mentor or coach and do any type of uh, talks with youth and young adults in this field, I really stress the importance of being open-mindedness and being willing to accept change.
Correct. I do. Sometimes you have to be open-minded and be able to adjust because, for for instance, during the pandemic, a lot of people transition from holding a lot of meetings to in the office to Zoom or any other video recording platform. And even teachers who are used to teaching their students in person now all of a sudden have to teach via Zoom or whatever other platform. So it was a learning experience for a lot of people because some individuals, they never used technology, and that's something I think is universal for everyone. You have to be able to adjust to change. So I want to ask you this. Are there any courses or certifications that you would advise our listeners or young adults who are interested in joining computer science career field that will help them be better equipped to do their job or to
Yeah,
make them even marketable in
that's a
this
good.
industry?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Mhm.
There's a lot of certifications out there. When I first started, it was just degrees only. Maybe that was an entry. That's an entry into the field, unless you knew someone and you started some like maybe help desk or lower level. No, not as not the advanced IT professional jobs to get in the door. But now there's a lot of certifications and a lot of organizations offer certs and entities and offer you certifications. And they're okay. But here's my thoughts on certifications, and this is what I kind of recommend to individuals is that um, the field is so broad that I could touch and talk about a lot of different aspects of the field, whether software development, you want to develop websites, whether you like networking and you want to go to cybersecurity, or whether you want to go into desktop support or support from devices and that kind of thing, or and repair if that's kind of not as prevalent as was in the past. Understand what you like, and then try to look at a certification path, or courses in a subject that you like. Not just don't. And I tell I coach and I recommend, do not choose a path because you think it's going to be lucrative. You've got to have a passion and a liking to whatever field or whatever aspect of this field that you choose, because you're going to be challenged. And if you don't like it, you're not going to go the extra mile that you need to go to be successful.
Yes, I agree, with that because it has to first start off with being a passion. And if you're passionate about doing something, you're going to really, really enjoy doing the work that you do. And I can see that in a lot of different people that I come across on a day to day. You know, if they like the work, they're going to give you the best customer service. If they aren't interested, you may not get the best customer service. So
Right,
that's
right.
good for everyone, and I hope everyone is listening to that as well. So, could you tell me what are some of the pros and cons within this industry? And also, have you faced any challenges with your nonprofit organization? And what were those challenges?
Oh, good question. The pros, it's a lucrative. This is lucrative. It can be lucrative. This career. Um, it's challenging if you like challenges. And if you are in working in a career in this field, um, it's it, it's here for the near future. Everything is being automated. Everything's been digitized. Um, if you look at who were some of the least affected employees during the pandemic, it was employees who were in IT. They were actually able to go remote, continue to do their jobs. And so that's one thing about this field, that the horizon is great both now and in the future. So that's a good thing. What would a con would be? We kind of talked about it. Um, it, it can be stressful because a lot of times a career in IT is not a 9 to 5. Um, Normally, you're salaried, and if you're supporting certain systems, you might be on call or able to support 24/7. So getting up at 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning to make sure folks coming in at 9 can get on the payroll or going to get onto a certain system. Uh, yeah, buckle up, you might be there. The other thing is that like we talked about, don't get too comfortable about you being a subject matter expert in a certain aspect of this career today and finding out 5 years from now it's not the hot commodity, or it's not the leading edge to technology that it was now. So you've got to be able to adapt, be agile, to be and open to learn what's new and hot, and kind of stay abreast of the trends. So folks that thought that all they did was manufacture CDs, they're out of business. Um, Folks that thought that all they need to do was support BlackBerry devices, they're out of business.
Yeah.
So I'm just talking about trends of how where it was hot and you built systems to support these things, and you were the leading person, expert in those areas, and now you look back and if you didn't transition, you're a dinosaur within the last 10 years or so, right? So that's some of the examples of it.
Wow, I couldn't agree with you more about the changes in technology, because now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, oh yeah, what used to be popular 10 years ago is totally different now. So that's pretty good. That's pretty interesting. So and then you also talked about, the crazy schedule and adjusting to the schedule, like because you can come in at any point. You will have to come into the office at any point, or maybe connect and get online at any point. So I want to ask you, how do you manage work and just overall a balance between home and work? And what advice would you offer someone who is just starting out, and they're thinking about starting a family, and they just want to know, like, is this the right fit for me and my family currently or in the future? Like, what is some advice you would give to someone who's just starting out?
That's a good question. I think that what really helped me is outside of IT. I was introduced to time management systems. Um, so I went through the whole seminar and the workshops on time management years ago. And I look back at it, and it was one of the most important things offered for me because it assisted me in being able to develop schedules where I could dedicate certain time for work, certain time for a hobby or things I like to do. I'm big on I'm a gym rat, so I teach cycling aerobics. So that's my out. So it was the ability to schedule time for that and any other time, family time or whatever. A time management system, a time management approach allowed me to be successful and also allowed me to have that balance. So sometimes it gets out of kilter based on some of the things that come your way, but at least have it down to it's in my mind and to what I currently do, an approach that time management has allowed me to keep that balance.
I have a question. So, I know pretty much since the pandemic, a lot of jobs kind of move remotely. So, would you say that computer sciences and technology career fields are moving towards 100% remote. Like, do you think in the future everything will just be able to be done at home and people can do their jobs strictly at home?
I think a large percentage of IT professionals are working remote, but there always would be the need for some aspects of IT professionals to be on site at some data center somewhere providing support, whether it's working for one of your major cloud vendors, working for some satellite office that does disaster recovery, where physically someone needs to be near the machines, near the equipment, doing the work that's required. So you're going to have this hybrid type of situation for moving forward. And based on that career, so maybe you're an application developer and all you need to do is develop apps. Well, you're not really touching equipment. So your life might be where you're doing 100% of your work remote. You're not turning boxes on and off. You're not provisioning firewalls physically. You're not provisioning networks physically. You're not making sure the cables are connected. But if you are one of those folks that are doing more the hardware type, operational type support, you might be a person that would be have the responsibility to be coming into an office, coming into a data center, and doing that kind of work. So it just depends on where you stack up in that career, in the career that you've chosen.
Okay, so I just want to follow up. What is a skill set or just overall skills that a person would need to be the best candidate for this position? And are there like any specific soft skills they'll need?
Yes. So there's the first thing is not a skill specifically IT related. Its first skill is patience.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to have some patience. That you've got to. This is not a microwave type of put it in to hit 1 minute, it comes back out, and you're ready to go. Um, you've got to have some patience to develop the skills necessary to get that LinkedIn profile, get that resume, get it where you want, where folks start taking a look. So I think patience is one. The other thing is that uh, sign up for all the forums, community forums, Google those knowledge bases, Google those STEMs in career, IT jobs, and the top 10 STEM jobs and careers. I do that today, even though I'm not applying for them, but I make sure that I keep abreast for my nonprofit where we're instructing our students and our youth to learn is something that's leading edge, is where things are going. So skills, if you're like coding, if you're a gamer, you like developing apps, learn one of those languages. Learn Python early on. Learn Java. Uh, if you like to tinker with stuff, get some equipment in your home and build you a physical firewall between the two devices, two laptops, a desktop, or whatever. So now you start playing with getting into a career in cyber. Because now you understand physically what that looks like, and you're gonna have to have some networking involved as well. So, maybe not one particular skill, but out of everything I mentioned, requires some patience because you got to learn it. This takes a while to get it all under your umbrella. That makes you just so much marketable. And every time you take a cert, every time you learn something, put that on that LinkedIn profile. Put it on your profile, your resume. Add those things in. It might seem trivial to you, but it might catch employer's eye.
Okay, speaking of that, so if you're looking for a candidate to work for your organization, what are some of the things that you would be looking for on a resume?
Um, so most of our staff are instructors. So
Mm-hmm.
they are providing training to youth. What I look for is one, having a background in some of the current languages,
Mm-hmm.
Python, Java, maybe those are two that just come off the top of my head that we look for, and we teach some younger students a language called Scratch. So coding languages, if they have any type of uh, knowledge with the cloud computing, whether it's Amazon's AWS, whether it's Microsoft's Azure, whether it's Google Cloud Platform, and any certs in those areas, that's a big plus. And then the final, if they have any introduction or understanding artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, supervised learning, any of those aspects of AI, those things I just mentioned just catches us right away because those are some of the classes that we teach.
Oh, that's great. Speaking of that, could you share with our listeners, what is the price range for the courses that Because I Can are offering, in case anyone would be interested in taking your courses offered?
That's a good question. So, I first start by saying most of our classes are offered to students with partnership with the schools at no cost because uh, 85-90% of our classes are taught to Title I students.
Mm.
So we are conducting classes to the underserved, which is part of our mission,
Mhm.
and we are addressing uh, the digital divide, the lack of digital inclusion, and digital skills that are offered to those students. So I would start off by responding to your question that way, and to other um, potential students that would like to sign up for our classes. Normally, our classes are in 8-week, 4-week, 8-week, 12-week sessions, and it just depends on which one of those classes they want to sign up for to give you a real price range on that. So it was hard to give you a number per se, but we think they're affordable.
Oh, great. That's wonderful news, because I believe like these programs are viable to the individuals and the youth that are coming up. And, these opportunities are great because I personally wasn't aware of these opportunities when I was growing up. And it's a good thing that our young people have that. So we definitely want to spread the word because that's the most beneficial way of letting them know that there is things and programs out here that will help you and educate you to make informed decisions. So, on another note, I want to ask, is there like a quote or a piece of literature that's motivated you throughout your career?
I think the one thing it came from my father, my dad. My dad said something that I use. He's no longer with us, but I use this saying he had. I use it every day, and somehow it applies to me every day of my life. And he used to say, um, uh, "Don't let anyone ruin your day. You can start your day over at any time." And I've just taken that through my career and through life, that things are high or low, whatever, that, I'm not going to let a situation or things, I'm human, but I'm not going to let it ruin my day. I know that I can start my day off over again and look to something positive and keep moving forward in a positive direction. So that's kind of, if I had anything to hang my hat on, that would be it.
Great. That's very powerful right there. Um, so I just want to ask, who are your customers, and how do you think your organization has helped them? Like, do you have any one particular person or any other students who took some of the courses? Have they ever came back to you and gave you some positive news about their current status in this career field that made you feel overjoyed or something, or really made you feel like you did something great for someone?
Yeah, it's a good question. And yes, that's the part that keeps us passionate and commitment about what we're doing is getting our reward is the response from those cohorts, those students of our classes when they look at the joy and the excitement and to understand that someone's investing in them. As I mentioned, we work with mostly Title I students, so we're working with underserved communities where these classes are not even offered anywhere in their zip codes. And part of our challenge also is to evangelize the importance of STEM and where the direction is going towards what jobs are being available 10 years from now. If you don't have any type of technical background, it's understanding like we feel it's code red in some of the communities we serve because in other more affluent communities, some of the classes that we offer is part of their natural school day. Um, so, and we look at disparities of women in STEM, big disparities there. Then talking about students of color, big disparities. We also sit on the code.org advocacy coalition committee that looks at computer science in all 50 states. We see the numbers, we see the demographics, and unfortunately, we want to make changes in those areas. Success stories, there's many. One that stands out recently is we offered a cloud computing class with a partnership with Amazon this past summer to some high school students, grades 10 to 12, sponsored by us, no cost to those students. We had about 10 to 15 students sign up. One student really took a hold and liking to cloud computing, did a great job. He is now a 10th grader. He is now an intern that's working with us. He is pursuing a certification in AWS as a cloud practitioner in the 10th grade. Things looking really, really good for him as he continues this path. There's a skill called DevOps, development operations, that students are learning before they hit college. DevOps engineers are asking for a salary around 150K.
Wow.
Um, this student continues down this path, he'll be eligible, probably be one of those students that will have an opportunity for a salary in that range. So that's important for us, not just a lucrative part, but just giving students the skills so they can be rewarded with some of these just basically generational changing careers for some of the families that we serve. And one thing we also do that we also conduct, and this spawned out of COVID, we moved our platform virtually in May of 2020 due to COVID to get prepared for our summer coding camp. We did our coding camp during the summer virtually. We found out that some of the parents and families had challenges technically with trying to assist their younger students. And we thought, is this something that is prevalent throughout the area? So we offered pro bono workshops for parents and families, technology workshops. We did them in English and in Spanish, just giving basics to more advanced Office 365, Google Workspace, uh, just networking, some basic networking, stuff like that. Now that's one of the second most requested programs for us is to offer technology workshops for parents and families. Because if the parents and families have some technical skills, understand the importance, they can support their students.
Wow, this is great. Oh my goodness, this is really great information that you're sharing. I'm definitely gaining a lot of insight and learning some things from you already, and I just really think this is great. Just hearing about the services that Because I Can offer to a lot of students is great. It's like they're destined to be great, and I love this. You did mention interns, so I just want to know, like, what's the earliest our youth could intern for Because I Can? And is there a certain age limit or anything like that?
Yeah, so right now we're starting with high school students.
Mm-hmm.
We have had interns that are so currently in college. There's computer science students. So from high school to college, computer science, or just if they have a interest in information technology, they can apply. Those applications will not go out until sometime early this early spring. But on our website, we will post any of that information. Um, but that's why we start at kindergartners. We want to cultivate students as early as possible and expose them as early as possible. All of them won't choose to go into a career in IT, but they can't say, I didn't know anything about it.
Great. I just want to ask, are these internships paid or unpaid internships?
They are paid.
Oh, wow.
We find a stipend. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
times we from some of our donors and supporters to help us pay those students while they're learning with us. And so it's a win-win. They're earning some income, they're gaining some skills, and they're assisting us. And we put them to work. They help in curriculum development. They help in teaching some of our and conducting our classes as assistants to help us with setting up some of the environments for us to teach. So it's a win-win all the way around. We're gaining and they're gaining, and that's what it's all about.
Okay, perfect. So could you share with our listeners, are there any future workshops that may be coming up for you all that we would definitely want to showcase that to have other listeners and people of other organizations that mirror the services that you all provide? Are there any workshops that are coming up?
Yes, in the spring, we don't have a date yet. We'll have it posted on the website. We'll be offering our Cloud Computing 2 workshop, which is going to be on Amazon's platform, Amazon's 3.0 serverless platform, where you can be learning a lot of the Amazon services. That's coming this spring. We also will be offering our Artificial Intelligence 2 class workshop, which is going to be, it's going to be 8 weeks, I think it's 8 weeks of advanced artificial intelligence learning and classes and concepts and terminology, and to go in a deep dive into AI, where AI is starting to be embedded in everything that we do. All those feeds you get on your social media that keep showing you the same thing because you chose one thing. AI is driving that. So we're going to be doing a second AI class as well.
All right, perfect. Could you share your website with our listeners just in case they need to follow up uh, with this interview to get registered for the workshop?
Sure, it's www.bcauseican.net, and because can is spelled BCAUSEICAN.net. So because I can without the E after the B, we try to be slick with that. It's causes probably no more pain than anything. But we're www.bcauseican.net, and we're on social media at Because I Can DMV.
All right, all right. I want to thank you for taking the time to share some of your experience and also information about Because I Can organization. I really do hope that my listeners gain some valuable information from you today, because I know I did. And I just want to close out this interview by letting my listeners know that you can do anything you put your mind to. You just have to take the steps necessary to achieve your goals. Put in that effort, put in that hard work, and you will be successful, because we have success stories every day in this interview process. So, yes, I hope you all feel motivated, and please connect with Mr. Nicholson. He shared the website. He's also shared the social media platforms. So please just connect with him. And, you never know where life may take you. And this is the starting point. We are FTZ, Functional Training Zone Inc. You can find us on our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and even Twitter. So I'm going to close out this with, remember, establish your plan, write your plan out, and have a conversation with someone about your plan. Implement your plan. I am Kia B, your host, and I just want to let my listeners know that your dreams can come true if you see them through. Thank you all for listening to Uncommon Connector. Please join me next week on another episode of Uncommon Connector. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Nicholson. You have a wonderful day.
You do as well. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
It's your boy JR dropping them beats.